Have you ever had an idea where you thought this could be big, but then you talk yourself out of it because you're afraid that no one else will see the genius in it? Well, back in the 80s, a young man in Lawrence had one of those big ideas. And when he pitched that idea to other people, he just saw blank stares. But he never gave up on his wild idea. Here's Brad Stevens with this week's Friday Night Flights.
I happen to believe, as we say on our shirts and a lot of our motto, that without beer, things do not seem to go as well.
That's not just the motto at Free State Brewery. They're the words the staff has lived by for more than 3 decades. They come from a Capuchin monk who brewed beer in a Kansas monastery in the early 1900s. It's also a phrase that helped pave the way in changing decades-old liquor laws in Kansas. More on that in a moment. On the Friday we went to Lawrence to visit Free State, it was hopping. Free State founder Chuck Magrill says the reason for their success is simple.
We're not trying to hold ourselves out as a sense of elite. You have to have a real sophisticated insight to enjoy. We're talking about beer. We're talking about something that should be enjoyed every day.
While Free State is a whopping success today, consider what Magrill had to go through to open his microbrewery.
For a lot of people, they didn't really have an idea of what we were talking about.
Because Kansas had been strict in maintaining its Prohibition-era liquor laws, breweries were outlawed in the Sunflower State as late as 1987. So Magrill lobbied the state legislature, but lawmakers were confused.
Being in the halls of Topeka, it was difficult because the legislators were, well, I've been to St. Louis and I've been to Golden, Colorado. You know, what is a brew pub? I don't understand what this is referencing.
I call him the Godfather just because nobody would be around if it wasn't for Chuck Magrill and getting the laws in Kansas changed to allow brew pubs.
There's not a lot of people that you can call visionaries, and certainly Chuck was a visionary in the 80s and had the foresight to lobby the legislature and to do so in a way that was going to actually get passed, and in a state that is historically pretty teetotaler leaning.
Free State opened in 1989, several months before Boulevard began brewing. But changing state law proved to be easier than changing some Kansans' long-held beliefs.
I received hate letters. I had letters that were being sent to me saying you're doomed to a life in hell, you're doing the devil's work.
But as times have changed, attitudes have changed. Free State is now a Lawrence landmark. In addition to the brew pub on Mass Street, they opened a production facility to accommodate their growth. Last year, Free State brewed 60 different varieties of beer. Their latest has yet to be released and was inspired by a brewery in Prague.
And it's a unique style that you don't see very often called Tmave Pivo, which is a Czech style of dark lager.
Demon is naming this brew Bohemian Rhapsody.
And it's kind of like liquid bread, really.
Oh, that is delicious. Free State has been making beer for more than 30 years now. And consider this, of the 8,000 breweries now in the U.S., less than 50 have been in operation longer than the brew pub in Lawrence that had to change state law before it could brew its first beer.
Is it still fun coming to work?
It is. There's no such thing as an ordinary day in this business, and that's the curse and the blessing. But it is something that keeps me going every day and keeps me on my feet.